Good morning.
Hey there, Mike.
How are you?
Fine, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent. You had any luck hiring people for your, to replace people that left?
There's an application out, I think, right now. So for the highway. So we'll see if we can get any applicants for that.
I see.
Hoping. I don't know about the summer yet either. I know we're getting
Uh-huh.
Lenny.
Mhm. Where does Lenny go in the winter?
He lives in Canton. He works for schools out there.
Oh, okay. So I didn't get a chance to participate in any of the conference. How did it go?
It was very good, thank you. Yeah, it went very well.
Good.
A lot of interesting topics and yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of good time.
Excellent.
There'll be another one. So
I'm sure there will. It's the season and seems like in spring, there's a lot going on. Hi, Lydia.
Hi. Was that all virtual or was there also an in-person part to it?
it was all virtual once again. Mhm.
Right.
Which is, pros and cons like everything else. One of the pros is that it allows a lot more people to come from different places and different situations.
Sure.
Mhm. Oh, Lydia, I'm gonna go run and get my dish towel.
Really nice article, Mike.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was pretty
Yeah.
happy with it. Yeah.
And your sign is holding up, that.
Just barely. That's one of my
Yeah.
spring projects is to revamp those a little bit and make some more.
Yeah. I wonder if-
So here's my dirty dish towel.
Is that the Wellfleet? Okay.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
I guess they make the same ones now.
Do you think that there's some people in the waiting room or it just seems?
There wasn't a second ago. Let me just check.
I can call folks if you want.
Yes, there are. It was hidden by a Zoom banner. There we go.
There we go.
They're coming.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. Hi. She's better looking than me anyway.
Oh, she's sweet.
Sorry for delayed letting you all in. I got distracted as usual. Story of my life. And you got a puppy along.
Yeah, this is Willow.
Hi, Willow.
Oh,
Hi, Carrie. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. I've been very, very busy, but I am trying to stay on top of everything.
Sounds good.
Oh, my picture's not on. What's happening?
So I think we can get started. It's 11:03. This is the April 5th meeting of the Wellfleet Recycling Committee. So first on the agenda is introductions, announcements. I think we all know each other. Anybody have any announcements?
I had something that I wanted to insert that I mentioned to Lydia. I don't know if this is the time to mention it.
Sure.
I had an inquiry, and I'm glad Mike's here. Somebody asked why the transfer station doesn't sell purple bags. Could it be organized that they did?
I mean, I would say that we're not really set up to sell them. It sounds simple, but what ends up happening is that the window as you come in will be inundated with bag sales. And there's just no way, good way to do that. And in the summertime, it would just be way too crazy for, one person in that scale house to run everything like that.
Okay.
So, it seems to make sense, but I don't think there'd be a line up the hill almost every time you came into the dump, and that's already kind of a problem. I would think I would like to see a vending machine. That's what I would like to see.
Well, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carol, you had a comment?
Could I ask Mike a question? I have had trouble lately finding the mini size purple bags. Have they stopped or?
They had a supply issue maybe a month ago. I believe that's been resolved now, but like everything else, once there's the backup, there's a lag between when they're actually on the shelves again.
Okay, but you haven't
so-
discontinued them.
No, they're not discontinued.
Great.
Hey, can I ask you a question about this? And you might
Yes.
know, because I've actually received questions very similar to that, Carol, as well. And sort of my prediction, and Mike, maybe you know more about this since you manage this program, is that the residual effects from the Chinese national store not accepting things like boat shrink wrap plastic, which is actually recycled down into things like trash bags, because that halted due to regulations and restrictions at the port, that backup is still happening. So now there's a huge increase in like supply and demand need for things like shrink wrap. So it's becoming valuable so that it can reprocess itself back into things like garbage bags. Mike, do you know if that was the stopgap from 2018 that occurred? Because a lot of areas, like you go to grocery stores and grocery bags, period, are hard to find.
Yeah, first, I'd just like to say that I do not manage that program on that end of things.
Oh, well, I guess you
but-
get a lot of questions about it. So maybe you
Yeah.
know, like some elevator speech to give.
I'm working my way toward it. I'll say that. I'm trying to get more hands-on, but yeah, I don't know the exact issue. I think it has something to do with the supplier because obviously they're still getting their large and medium-sized bags. So I don't know if there was a machinery issue or something, but
Okay.
it's not the first time that's happened. But I believe it's been resolved. So hopefully we'll start to see those again.
Okay, thanks, Mike. I was just wondering if you had heard, because to me, I try to like go back to the deduction, like reduce, like sort of, or deduce, like, okay, here's this big, non-controllable sort of issue that happened. Plastics weren't being received, therefore they weren't being recycled into new things. And then, like you had mentioned, when something happens, the residual effect, that sort of lull between when something goes back in, there's still a longer time before things sort of get back to normal. So I was just
Yeah.
curious if you had heard that in the
Mhm.
recycling world.
I mean, I haven't heard that. I can only speculate, but I mean, just from other aspects of what we do, if it's something with the machinery or anything like that, and if it's a part, I mean, those are also held up with the supply chain issues.
Okay,
But it
Thank
could be
you.
it could be anything. Yeah, you're welcome. So sorry about that.
no,
I'm always trying to push, to make this program as easy for people as possible. I think that's only fair. So when you can't get the bags, it's not very good.
okay, thank you.
Um,
Sorry for
Jane?
that.
Jane, perhaps you could encourage whoever found stock issues at Wellfleet Marketplace to inquire about it, or did she, or?
I'm sure she did, yes.
Yeah.
I think a vending machine's a good idea. I don't know how much they cost, but I mean, the market often doesn't have them, it's true.
I mean, I can look into that. That's kind of just like an idea that I had, but it seems like the technology might be there for something like that. So
Mhm.
Right. I think Susie's point, who suggested to me, was that I don't know, I don't go to the dock because I don't have a car, but she said that the station does handle money. It's not that they don't handle money, right?
yeah, it's just the amount of, so, part of the scale house is checking for stickers as people come in, and the other half of it is weighing up vehicles and then paying for items that get dropped off. And
Right.
so, that is certainly not everyone needs to stop at that window to pay for something on their way in. But when you
Sure.
start marketing something as used as purple bags, your transactions at that window go up pretty exponentially.
Yeah. Okay.
And, and then add the summertime to that. And we already have staff issues up here as far as trying to man this place. So,
One other reason to have the purple bags in the stores is that it does drive some foot traffic to the stores. And they don't make any money off of the bags, so
Right,
it's,
yeah.
they're kind of doing it as a
Yeah.
public service.
and that might be
Like,
something to just, briefly, I've had a couple of people that honestly had no idea how that system worked. And so just, if just for anyone that happens to be on the call, when you buy those bags, the town is receiving revenue from those bags directly. And that price of that bag is almost nearly exactly what it costs to get that bag down the road to its final destination. And so that's how that works. It has nothing to do with the type of plastic or the, you know, the color purple is just so that we can see that you're participating in the program.
Yeah.
But when you buy those, you know, quote unquote, more expensive bags, the town is getting that revenue.
Okay.
I believe vending machines are another impact on the environment, actually. They sound like
Okay.
a good idea, but they are another impact on the environment, so.
Maybe we should put it on the agenda for another meeting, just so we
Yeah.
can talk about it.
We could just see if there are any issues in Wellfleet Marketplace, and also see if there's any way that any other town department could sell them. Like,
And it's not just the marketplace that carries them, also Mid-Cape Home Centers.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay. Okay.
maybe they
And
have
as well
better
as the
stock.
Stop and Shops in Provincetown and Orleans.
Yeah, I always get them when I'm grocery shopping. Okay, well, let's move on. First thing is transfer station, recycling center. Do you have anything to share?
Yeah, I actually did even more. I did reach out to Black Earth. They are looking to expand their business and collection opportunities, but they're not quite ready to get this far out yet. And we just don't generate enough food waste yet to even come close to what they're looking for. But they did say to keep checking in, which I will do. And then I also contacted AJ Watts Family Farm, who does take our compost currently. They do not sell the bags of compost anymore. And then so I asked if we could maybe get a bulk load of compost to demonstrate, display, sell, whatever. And I haven't heard back yet. So I have to re-follow up.
That would be an awesome idea, to be able to come and get bulk at the transfer station. Great.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I just look into it a little further. I don't know, it's kind of hard to get a hold of sometimes, but you know, this is also kind of a reason why it's kind of important to, you know, to help out the vendors that we do have, is because there's not a lot of people waiting in the wings for some of this material.
And the compost that the transfer station prepares is from the brush pile and the leaf pile. So it's a little different from what you might get from a food waste composter.
Yeah, I'd say it's certainly drier. I've actually started to add wood chips to the pile, just because we've continued to run out of that, which is a good thing for me. That was the whole point of the program, is so we don't have to haul it out of here. It's going to involve me turning the pile over more, and my screen is in need of repair. That's what I'm working on today, actually. So we're at the transfer station. We're still dealing with the same thing everyone else is dealing with. We're, you know, understaffed.
You need to budget for a mechanical screen that jiggles itself back and forth.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I've thought about building one myself, actually, because of the cost of these things. But yeah, we're kind of working on everything as fast as we can up here.
And you're doing a great job. There's this really good article in the Independent.
Thank you.
Yes, Thomas Lyon. Yeah, good.
I think they finally put the quote that I've been trying to get anybody that talks to me. They finally put it in this article, and it said that, you know, the recycling is not, the story of recycling can't fit in a newspaper article. It's just, you know, it's important to keep asking questions because the story gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I also like your quote at the end that says, it's a rare and wonderful thing when you don't have to move materials over the bridge. So that was a good quote.
True. That's, you know, it's so not the case with so many things for us out this way.
Mhm.
Hopefully we get more of that.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Other things on Amnesty Day, Mike told us about last week, April 23rd, 8 to 2. And Mike, does that apply to like bringing in like old boards and stuff that you want to throw in it?
Yeah, I don't have the handout in front of me, but it's one homeowner load of, well, it's really one homeowner load, and it can be C&D, furniture, air conditioners, tires. There are limits. I actually just sent Chris a link to the handout, and also we created a map. We're going to change the layout around a little bit to hopefully accommodate this better and make it a little faster for people to move in and out. So I sent her that link too, and you can look at the map and see what you're going to find when you get here, where the stations are going to be to drop things off.
Okay.
But you do need it. The sticker has to be on the car. You know, you can't show up in like a U-Haul or with a dumpster or something like that. And it's one trip per day. There are limits on certain items. You can come back with another trip, but its standard fees would apply. And we also will shut the dump closes at 2 o'clock that day. The gates are shut and locked at 2 o'clock to give us time to kind of clean up after the chaos.
Right, I bet.
What's
Are you
the
gonna use
date
the,
again, please? What is
April-
the date again?
Saturday, April 23rd, from 8 to
Thank you very much.
Are you going to use the LED sign to advertise it, or maybe you're already? I don't know.
That's another one of my projects for today is to dig that sign out. Now that we're in the spring, and yeah, we're going to advertise that.
And that
It's
you
on,
close
it's on
early.
our, yeah, it's on our transfer station website. It's on the town's website, and hopefully, Chris can post it around to your social media accounts.
Could you do me a favor and, because Chris isn't here, she thought she was going to be here, send that also to Wellfleet Recycles, and then we can forward it to Olivia for the website.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I would, oh no, I wonder if anybody in the waiting room, because Gabrielle said she might be able to join us today.
Yeah, I've been checking. There's
Okay.
nobody there.
All right, thanks.
I did have just one more thing. Olivia reminded me of this. She found some contamination in the compost the other day. And I just wanted to just reiterate to everyone that the items that we're allowed to take in the compost are from the vendor. That's the only thing that they want that they're willing to take. And unfortunately, compostable bags aren't one of them. So we are kind of at the mercy of that. And that's why, we can take things and not take things. Plastic, bread bags are not compostable. I guess someone might have thought that they were.
Well, even the bags that tell you are compostable or not, and I don't think any kind of plastic can go into the compost, can it?
No, I was kind of joking, but there are compostable bags, but they get composted in more of an industrial setting than what
Yes.
our vendor has. That's the problem.
It's called bagasse is the material, and it's kind of rubbery. It has a very different feeling from your average or usual
We
plastic.
have
film.
a bigger sign that says no compostable quote compostable bags.
I mean, I guess I can add that to the sign. Yeah. Mhm.
'Cause I
Or
think
maybe have a mini display like you do with your large display with all the things you cannot put in recycling, maybe a little box.
Yeah. Those seem to work well. I'm going to try to make some more of those throughout.
we did Chris did a social after I was there and saw the disaster. I told Chris, and we did a social media post at least about reminding people not to put all the stuff I saw in there that day, tinfoil, ice cream cartons.
Oh my
Thank you.
gosh.
It was bad.
Hazardous
You
waste
should probably,
days.
you should probably say so-called compostable bags, because the people sell them as though they are, don't they?
I had some information about those renew liners, kind of on that same vein of things about, they're saying they're recyclable, but are they really? I think renew liner, when they made it, they knew they were making it out of number one plastic, and that's what they went on when they started advertising it's recyclable. They found out soon after that it would not work because of the material that they turned that number one plastic into. And I've heard that they've stopped putting that labeling on the renew liners, but they've got so much stock that is still available that's what we're still seeing. So hopefully, that will cease to happen. These materials that might be able to be recycled in one place in the country, and then they get the fun triangle, so hopefully that'll take care of that. But similar to the compostable bags, there's more to it than just, this is compostable.
And hazardous waste days, you're June 4th, right?
Yes, June 4th from 9 to 12. And it's pretty much the same deal as it always is.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
And then,
Mike forwarded us all those materials, all the brochures and things, so I'll send that to you, and also Olivia and to Chris.
Yeah, we just updated the website today, and I know the swap shop has posters and handouts, and then Jake has handouts in the scale house as well.
Hazardous waste day at the dump.
I have things in my basement that I missed like for the last 2 years. They're just waiting there. I'll put it on my phone with a timer this year. Okay, Energy and Action, Climate Action Committee. Do you have anything, Carol?
I may have reported last time that we were going to have a warrant article at town meeting to get more matching funds for grants. But it turns out that there's still money left from when we did that a couple of years ago. So
Oh,
we have to ask for more money to be set aside, which is great. And Suzanne and I are working on trying to do more of public awareness functions. Maybe we're hoping to partner with the library to do that and bring energy issues more to the public eye. So that's it.
yep, here's Gabrielle coming.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
There was the survey that, or the questionnaire that Suzanne Ryan sent out, Carol, from the Energy and Climate Action Committee.
Oh, yes.
Forward.
Suzanne was making contact with committee heads and department heads that we don't already work with to ask them if they have issues around climate change that we could help with. And I don't know much about the responses yet. We're meeting in a couple of weeks, so I'll find out about that then.
So these would be things that we could to address, like need solutions for at a local level? Is that what
Yes.
it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I made up a list, but maybe we could talk about that another time.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Carol. Let's go to Gabrielle. So nice to see you.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
We invited Gabrielle because unfortunately we're losing our boomerang bag program to Gabrielle, which is great because she'll take care of it.
No. I actually, it's funny. I just wanted to start a new chapter. And so I had talked to Erica and she had just felt like she kind of just doesn't feel like doing it anymore. You know, she's gotten into other things.
Mhm.
So I had reached out to her because I was interested in getting the patches, and she had someone do the screen printing in Provincetown. But then when I got in touch with her, she had expressed to me that she didn't feel like doing it anymore. So, you know, certainly if Wellfleet wants to keep doing them, I'm sure the library would be, you know, thrilled if somebody wants to sort of take up that mantle there. But, you know, she had expressed to me that she would like for folks to know that we will hopefully, I'm still, you know, putting everything together, be having them in Brewster as well. We have a really great auditorium, which is, you know, about the same size as the one in Wellfleet. So yeah. Certainly don't want to steal.
No. I wasn't being serious. It's all sitting in the storeroom, lots of fabric and sewing machines too.
Yes. Yeah. And she and I had talked about that a little bit, but basically so the town of Brewster has not, we haven't been able to do any indoor programming, and we're only starting to book our meeting spaces starting this May, and then the auditorium is going to be opened up in July. So I'm starting to put my feelers out there to see, you know, who in the Brewster community and, you know, elsewhere would be interested in starting another boomerang bag chapter at Brewster Library. So I've gotten a number of people who have expressed interest. And so I'm just sort of slowly gathering people, and I have to get some more patches for the front of the bags. And I just want to make sure that it's organized and fluidly done, because there's, you know, as you all know, there's a lot that goes into the construction of the bags. And I want it to be fun for everybody, as well as productive in that
Right. Well, I
No.
remember there was a very energetic sewer that always came from the Brewster area, so. maybe
Yes,
we'll-
there are a lot of people who sew in Brewster, so I think it'll be a big success. And
Mhm.
you know, it's a lot of work, and of course, you know, Erica did so much work, you know, to make it happen, as did all of you. So, you know, I'm just trying to figure out the most efficient way to do it, because obviously, you know, I have to library as a librarian,
Yes.
but at the same time, I just think it's such a wonderful opportunity and space for people to get together and to do something really awesome. And I just feel like, you know, particularly after the past 2 years, it would be really wonderful to have, you know, just more opportunities for people to do stuff like this. So
Seems like a great thing, and to keep the program going, because as you said, you know, Erica wasn't able to do it. And I think Ben Fairbank, and then there was a young woman, Tessa, I believe, they took it on for a little while, but I think that's not possible. So it sounds like a really good transition to Brewster. Plus everybody that, you know, I'm sure that people that are interested could certainly participate.
yeah,
So
so
there.
we are going to Erica. We just wanted to, she wanted to put an email together with me to send to everybody to just let them know. I still have to create, you know, the publicity and figure out when exactly the meetings will happen. I know that they used to do from around 2 to 5 p.m. on Fridays and sometimes Saturdays in Wellfleet. So, you know, if anybody is interested in coming out to Brewster to participate, and there's a particular time frame that works best for you, I've been asking people who have expressed interest, you know, if you have a time frame, because I do want to make sure that it's you know, accessible to people and not during, you know, work hours or conflicting with any other obligations.
So have you talked with Erica about the sewing machines that she had left at the library and all the supplies?
Yeah, you know, we had a pretty lengthy discussion about that, and it sounded like she said that, like, it's not really as much as you would think. One of the sewing machines she actually sent down to her son, goes to school, I believe, in either Rhode Island or Connecticut. But she was saying that I think he has a roommate who loves to sew. So there was one of them that she actually sent down to him to use.
Right.
I think he's from Mexico and has a sewing machine at home, but doesn't have one here. So so one of those is being, you know, used, which is great. But it sounded like there really isn't as much material. I know that Wellfleet has like, you know, because I used to go into the back room all the time, obviously, and it seemed like a lot of stuff, but she was saying that right now it's not as much as one would think. But the model that basically the way I'm trying to approach it is, you know, asking people to bring their own sewing machines rather than having us store them. Storage is such a complicated issue. We do have like a very small sewing machine as part of our library of things, but it's like, it doesn't do back stitching. It's like this tiny, like Amazon, like plastic thing. It's not, you know, the quality of a Singer or whatever. But so we did chat about that. And certainly, you know, if there is, because she was saying like we could be buried in material if we really wanted to, but I'm trying to start small, just start efficient and you know, slowly build towards it, because it's a bit of an undertaking, but at the same time, I think once we get going, it'll be really just great.
Well, that sounds great. So it sounds like we're happy to have you take over if you're interested in any of the remaining fabric. And I thought maybe there was one machine back there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then of course, you know, I know that the library, you know, they may want to keep whatever, you know, they may also want to, someone might want to take it up there. I'm not really sure. I haven't talked to anybody. I could certainly talk to Jennifer and see where they're at and how they're feeling. I know that they were in the process of really trying to maximize and just have a much more efficient use of the space they have, because they're not quite as big as as we are at Brewster, but even at
Mhm.
Brewster, like, we're limited for space.
Right.
So it
Okay.
gets kind of tricky. But anyway, so
That sounds good.
yeah, so if anybody, the last thing I'll say is if anybody has any thoughts, wants to email me, just shoot me an email, and hopefully we can get something great started.
Okay, and Lydia, you have Gabrielle's new email address?
Mhm.
Okay,
It's the same as before, the Clams net.
wonderful. All righty. Well, thanks very much for popping in.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's really, really wonderful to see all of you. It's just a pleasure.
You too.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Happy spring.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. For those of you who don't know Gabrielle, she was our outreach coordinator. She helped get the Fix It clinics going, which we did pre-pandemic, and helped coordinate a lot of stuff. And we now have a new outreach coordinator at the library who just started. Her name is Racine, I think. And she's just getting going on doing.
Oh, she's wonderful. She used to be at Advocate, didn't she?
Oh, was she? Oh,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so next item, we left off Mass Debt Barnstable, annual calendar notes. A note that, do you want to go ahead with that, Lydia?
I haven't looked at it. Do you want to go to Carrie real quick and I'll.
Okay, Carrie, would you like to, anything you'd like to jump in with?
Sure. So the Mass Recycle conference was last week on Thursday, Friday. It was as far as the virtual conferences go, I would say in the third year of being virtual, 2020, 2021, and 2022. This was probably by far the most informational conference. Mike, I don't know if you have any comments on that as far as like your participation as treasurer. But I would say it was one of the most informational. We spoke about the waistbands. I just filled out the survey this morning. It's sort of an evaluation, and I'd like to see a focus on more small scale regional pushes for what we're doing here, which Mike nominated me for in, was it 2020? Yeah, 2020. For looking at what Silvio spoke about, our mattress recycling, and that came up because mattresses are part of the new solid waste master plan waistbands that are coming up in November, as well as textiles and lowering the threshold on food, commercial food waste from 1 ton a week to a half ton. So those are coming down the pipeline, but also looking at, all the time and effort, and Mike is involved in all of these actually, which it's Mike, it's Wellfleet, it's your participation and your help, I'm sure, with assisting him on some of this. But really working as a team for Cape Towns to have boat shrink wrap recycling programs. I mean, Mike's offering to put a container out to be able to participate in that every year. And he does it every year. He provides staff every year. He sits in on the planning calls every year. The mattresses, he goes to Eastham. It's a participation every year. The latex paint every year. Food waste composting every year. It's a collaborative. And so I really would love to have that conversation with the board, or maybe Gretchen. Gretchen's the chair, right, Mike? She's
President, yeah.
or president, thank you. So, and it's a membership organization. And I really feel that people find value, if you're going to pay to be a member to it, they find value in it. And so that for me had been sort of the highlight. And I wanted to let all of you know what a value Wellfleet and specifically Mike has been to us and to me over the last 6 years. So I think there's a lot of value added with Mike and his role and his ability to kind of convince the powers that be that this is, stewardship, et cetera. The feasibility study is, as I'm hopefully you're aware, wrapped up in November of 2021. We did a presentation of the findings of Geosyntech and Tetra Tech to the county commissioners, as well as the Assembly of Delegates. We have some grassroots folks, as well as some, recycling committee members requesting their own private presentation, which Patty Daly and Michelle and I are happy to provide, because even though there's access to the presentation online, you don't get to ask questions, right then and there. So we want to provide that to, folks who are maybe not being paid to be in the recycling world, but are certainly very much advocates for what we do here on the Cape and Islands. So I would say those are the two big things just to be aware of. Boat shrink wrap recycling is in full swing, and Mike does have a container at the Wellfleet transfer station. I believe he's accepting from Truro and Provincetown, and then from there it's going to be anybody, you know, from Eastham up will go to Eastham, and then anybody close to Chatham will go to Chatham, and then to Dennis, and then Bourne, and then it'll go up. Just to let you know, the shrink wrap is staying in North America. So it'll be baled at a Brockton MRF, the material recovery facility, and then it'll be shipped to EFS, which is in Canada. And then they will downcycle the boat shrink wrap into things like garbage bags, as I mentioned, and then sold domestically in North America. So even though it won't say like Cape Cod shrink wrap on the, you know, the packaging, you know, it'd be kind of fun to think about the next time you buy trash bags if they're not pay as you throw trash bags. So anyway, that's my update, and I'm glad to be on the schedule, your weekly schedule anytime, as long as I can be here. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
bringing that up. I was going to type that in the chat too. I forgot about the shrink wrap.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're in full swing. So it's anybody that you speak with, Provincetown, Truro, Wellfleet, can bring it to Wellfleet. Obviously, they can bring it anywhere else, but Wellfleet is supporting those three towns, yours and the two other, you know,
And
below above you.
yeah, are places like Wellfleet Marine, who do so much of the shrink wrap, on board with that?
Yeah.
I'll let Mike answer that one.
Okay.
Yeah, Wellfleet Marine and Bay State Textiles Bay Sales Marine participated last year, along with a bunch of residents as well. We were able to get 2.04 tons, and they were able to consolidate that with East Ham's container last year. But the main point is that it can only be shrink wrap. It doesn't matter what color. But we don't want the vents or the zippers or the ties. And if you can roll it up, that makes everyone's life easier.
Or any wood. Sometimes the shrink wrap has like wood doors and stuff sort of embedded in the shrink wrap. So that also needs to be cut out as well.
Yep. Yeah. So only the shrink wrap. And we're going to do that until June 30th. So it's open now until June 30th. This is kind of a program similar to food waste and like the paint program that we do, where, you know, this isn't necessarily like a cost-effective thing to do, but it's getting these programs off the ground and putting the infrastructure in place and training the public and, you know, how to separate and why they should separate. And hopefully this will scale and grow to where we won't, you know, bear the brunt of this anymore. Or in the case of some of the bands, you know, we don't have a lot of control over the bands. So we need to kind of pivot to accommodate those things. So getting these programs off the ground first is important. That's why we're doing them.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mike. And I just spoke with Catherine Iden of the, you know, the Cape and Islands NPR station, WCAI, or I guess it's CAI now. And I gave a pretty big shout out to, you know, the towns of Wellfleet and the other towns that are doing this and participating in this. And we spoke about the latex paint as well as hazardous waste. Obviously, in that point, I you know, gave Calliope's name as the one that operates that program or manages that program. But I really, and I don't know how much of it, you know, we spoke for like an hour and a half on all these different things. And so I don't know how much of it's going to wind up, you know, as part of her piece on the morning edition. However, I did remind, you know, when she always closes with, is there anything else you want to add? And my reminder to the listeners was, these services are not free. So even though the residents get to utilize and participate for free, there is someone, somewhere, somehow funding these programs. And that was sort of a stark reminder in the essence of, you might pull up someday and not get to drop off your latex paint for free. You might pull up someday and bring your boat shrink wrap and we're charging you per pound. You might come to a hazardous waste event someday. So I didn't say it to that regard, but I just sort of was like, just a reminder to the listeners, services are not free because somebody somewhere somehow is paying for it. So hopefully that resonates, and hopefully she plays that little piece as, again, a reminder to, you know, the listeners. But, you know, like Mike said, we want to build participation and we want to ensure that we're staying in compliance with the waste bans, and that, you know, the Cape has a lot of, you know, templates to model for the rest of the Commonwealth. And I've been asked to share those with DEP explicitly. So depending on their ask, I might reach out to, you know, Mike, you and Chad and everybody else that participates and is very active in these regional programs on what it really looks like from behind the scenes. Because I see it as sort of a planning call. Yes, I show up to a lot of them, but I don't know what it is to supervise the staff to ensure that they know what's going on when somebody's literally standing right there in front of you or has questions or gets jerky about something. So we'll see, but I really hope that we sort of build a guidebook on templates of how to build regional, collaboration type programs like we have here on the
Thanks
Cape.
very much, Carrie.
I'm
Lydia?
curious about if the shrink wrap is reusable. Like, can it be shrinked again onto the same boat or a smaller boat, or?
It can be the same boat up to 3 years as long as it's cut properly at the belly of the boat. I imagine if you take it off of a 40-foot boat, you could put it on a 25-foot boat. But yeah, you could use it on the same boat for up to 3 seasons, I believe. And then it starts to just denigrate too badly that it's not exactly winterizing anymore.
Is there a kind of a way to keep track if people are actually doing that, or do they know that it's an option?
Yeah, so last year they took a survey. I just haven't seen the survey results, but that was one of the questions was, do you know this? And then do you know other options outside of plastic?
Mm-hmm. Good.
We had people taking shrink wrap out of the can to use to cover their firewood. That was a direct reuse. So that was kind of cool. But to Carrie's point, though, the mattress program the partnership we have with Eastham is the perfect example of all those things that she was talking about. About how, I used to drive all the way to Rhode Island with our mattresses for a couple of months there to get the program off the ground and, help that company grow as well. And now we have this partnership where I only have to drive to Eastham. And, that's the idea behind many of these programs, is to kind of put the groundwork in and then hopefully we won't be on the hook for so much later on.
Do you know if any of the mattresses are ever transported by rail?
The mattresses that we recycle are dismantled at the facilities that we send them to. And then the components, the foam, the steel, the wood, are all marketed separately, and that's how they make their money.
Mm-hmm. But I mean from the Cape, say in Eastham to Dennis, where there's a rail hub, or wherever, I'm not sure.
So in Eastham, I believe it's 4 towns participate with our group for mattresses, where we drop off our containers in Eastham. And these are 40-yard open top, closed top, I guess, dumpsters, similar to what we have for recycling. And when there's enough of those at Eastham site, Ace Mattress, I believe it's Ace Mattress, Carrie, I can't remember now, but they will come up with a tractor trailer and consolidate all of those containers into one truck and then bring them back to Rhode Island to dismantle. And so where I was bringing 50 or 60 mattresses in a truck all the way to Rhode Island, we're now fitting 5 trucks into one larger one that's then going to Rhode Island.
Very good, thanks.
Okay. Swap shop, new building. I don't think we have any updates. Mike?
I met with Roland and the building inspector a couple of months ago, and I think the building inspector was going to kind of come up with a report, but it didn't seem like anything was an imminent failure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I don't know anything about anything to do with money in town meeting right now.
Right.
I wouldn't even speculate.
Right. Okay, thank you. Library of Things. We had a very successful afternoon, Olivia and Chris and I photographing. And I will send the link around for the photos that we're taking. And that's going to be the beginning of the catalog so that we can start our Library of Things. We do have to, Lydia, you said that there were some checkouts that, is that, somebody borrowed some things? Were they back in before Tuesday a week ago? Or?
They were borrowed after you took the photographs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. And then we do, Chris, you said you had, welcome. You said you had some additions also to the that need to be photographed.
Right. So I have a few more things that I can donate to the library, and I can bring them by and figure out a way to photograph them.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is to photograph the things or get pictures of the things that we have at the transfer station.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe since several of those were new, other than Chris's table, which, yeah, I don't think we took a picture of it. We can probably get stuff off the net when we purchased it.
Mhm.
And so I guess I'll get things ready on photographs and send them to Naomi. We can always add to it as we have more photographs. As far as new purchases, I was trying to order the tent, the pop-up tent this morning. There is one that comes in just under $200, but it's got a 3-year warranty instead of one, and it has a stronger steel than another one, and one person can put it up with this thing in the middle. So I thought those were worthwhile expenditures. So I'll go ahead and order that. They have it in blue and red, but it seems like blue would be reasonable. And if anybody has some other thoughts, they're welcome. And then there were other things, Lydia, that we had talked about. You talked about maybe another fusti or some other items.
I think something portable, more portable and something that's non-glass, because we do have a 5-gallon glass drink dispenser, but maybe something that's a smaller fusti that's easy to transport. The one we have filled with water really takes 2 people to carry it.
Okay.
So maybe a couple ones, or one that's kind of in between that could be easily brought to outside setting
Okay.
or indoors too.
So if anyone has any ideas about other expenditures, I guess Lydia will talk in a minute about printed materials and banners. Minutes so on committee business, we have minutes for March. And Lydia sent those around.
Nancy
sent those around, sorry. Lydia and I reviewed them, and maybe some other people did too. So I make a motion to accept the minutes for March.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody. Excellent. The accounting report, I got so excited that we had a new treasurer and he gave me immediately something I've been asking for months. So I was very thrilled. And then I asked him about a report, forgetting that he was not the right person for a town report. I had to talk to the accountant, and now I have a new accountant too. I don't know if he started yet, but meantime, Jane in the accounting office did send me a report, which we know we have a balance of like $1,300 or so. So we have until June to use those funds. On correspondence, I can't remember what the data of maybe the early March, there was a select board meeting where they reviewed the article that we proposed for beverage ban. And they approved a version of that, which was carbonated, banning carbonated beverages only, less than 21 ounces. And it's non-alcoholic beverages only. So apparently a version of that will be on the warrant. Did you have anything else, Lydia, on correspondence? Oh, I did want to mention Care for the Cape and the Islands, and their Take Care Cape Cod campaign has been asking us a few times to be one of their affiliates. And we're not really sure what that means. It's otherwise mostly businesses, and there's some, cooperative nonprofits that work with them. But Lydia and I thought maybe it wasn't necessary. If anybody has any input on that. It basically just means that we have access to their website to list events and things of that nature.
Other correspondence was
Is there any other correspondence, Lydia? Oh, yes.
The person from Harwich asked, they don't have a recycling committee right now, and so they're asking about maybe forming one. And let's see, if there's any time I would like to know more, speak about recycling, its problems and its potential. So I guess right now in Harwich, maybe the Department of Public Works handles recycling issues. Maybe Carrie knows about that. But we just recommended that, say, if they were to start one, they could consider calling it Recycling Committee or Waste Reduction Committee or Zero Waste Harwich or something like that. So there's other options. Recycling is kind of the traditional way, but we noticed that other towns, for instance, Hamilton, is now, they've changed their name officially to Waste Reduction Committee, and Melrose has changed their name to Zero Waste Melrose.
You know what the buzz thing to call yourselves is?
What?
Sustainable Material Manager.
Ooh,
Sustainable
fancy.
Material Management Committee.
It's pretty long. But that's good. Yeah.
Something kind of interesting with Mattress Recycle, which was started in like 1989. It was to promote recycling. And so it's kind of like, well, we got everyone to do that, right? So, but now here we are with all these issues we got to solve with recycling and packaging. So it's much more than that now.
right.
Yes.
Next thing on the agenda is Recycling Committee printed materials and banners.
Yes, I went to speak with Rachel Harrington of Mom's Print Shop in Provincetown, and she has the aprons that Christine bought a while back, the green cotton aprons, and she's able to print on those. Let me see if I have, just one second.
He had also asked me to hold up this towel that food farmers market sold, which was apparently done by the same person. And Lydia was considering maybe doing some kind of branded thing. So there's a picture of it with all the spots hidden.
I still have that bag you gave me. I think it's actually, yeah, it's behind me. You can
Oh,
see
really?
it. I get lots of comments on that, recycle or die.
Right.
Yes, I have that too.
That's right, that was giant.
That was courtesy of Jaya. We can't hear you, Jaya.
I have to find my notebook. Could you go to a different subject while I do that?
Sure.
Sorry.
I just can't remember where I found them. I bet I brought them from England though. Anyway,
I think it was New York. You saw somebody with
Yes, yes,
where to
on
buy
the
it.
corner. I chased her. I swear to God.
I think they're made in Denmark, I believe.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, and I got some for all of us in the committee.
They're great.
So
One of my favorite pieces.
I can see it from here. Any update on committee vacancies? I think we had a couple of suggestions for Nauset high school students that had started some things, but of course they're in school at 11 o'clock, so I'm not sure how that would be. But if anybody asks you.
I found my notebook, sorry about that, guys. So if we were to do shirts, it's the $12 per shirt. If we were to do printing on the aprons, it's $3 per apron, and we have 11 aprons. And Christine showed you that dishcloth, which is an option. Dish towels, they're 29 by 27 inches. Those would be $5 each. And she could print a logo. She recommends the bottom center, kind of like where it is on the farmer's market one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would those make sense if we ever wanted to include them in educational materials or a prize, or to sell them one day? I don't know. In terms of printing a banner, she recommended going with, well, she doesn't do that basically, it's on vinyl. She only prints on smaller things, but she did have some suggestions on that. The name tags, we were kind of playing around with what to do there, maybe sticking with muslin material, cotton material, and making something that could be like a pocket, almost like a small purse that you could wear either around your waist or with a tie around your neck. And those would be probably $3 each, something like that.
So we would buy the fabric and then we would sew them into a pocket?
Yeah.
With the, Okay.
She might be able to pre-sew them, or maybe find someone that could do that part. I don't know. I don't think it would be very involved.
Right.
Or it could be simply, we could just print paper labels, print name tags as needed.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just wanted, I probably have it in here. These nice name tags that that Erica made for people that came to. If any of us sew, we could do some of these.
Very
These are
nice.
great.
Nice.
She just put yarn down and then did a zigzag stitch over the yarn.
And you don't need to wear your glasses to read them.
True.
They're reusable.
So I don't know, maybe, oh, she also said tote bags. Some of us are tote bagged out, some of us have dozens and dozens. Oh, there's Jaya.
The 11 aprons we have, could we go forth and have those printed? Is it for us to use when, we're present at a venue, or to sell them? What
It's
is
what to use.
the aim?
Yeah, the idea, we bought them for when we were doing spaghetti dinners. And,
Yeah.
and it was collecting compost and it was very messy. But we, so we just purchased them with the idea that we would someday, print Wellfleet Recycling Committee on them or something. So that's what Lydia got a price
Yeah.
for.
I thought we,
And ideally, it would be nice if, well, then we got onto name tags, because it's also nice to have a name tag, so. But she couldn't do that on it. We'd have to, like write it on it or something if it were ours. But then when you left the committee, then anyway.
I think it'd be great to go ahead and just at least put them on the aprons.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay, maybe, what do you think about on the 27 by 29 inch dish towels, which could also be used as a bandana? It doesn't have to be a dish towel. Or it could be, what do you think of that?
Would that be to sell them for the towels?
They're $5 each. Yeah, you could sell them for $10 at sometimes the Wellfleet Farmers Market allows nonprofits to have a table. We could do something like that, educational materials along with the dish towels. I don't know if they're still selling their own Wellfleet Farmers Market ones. I didn't see them on the website.
I think if we wanted to sell them, I think it would be fun to come up with something kind of creative. I really like the recycler dye, but something that's that kind of jumps out a little bit.
Yeah, Harriet Coram had this great idea once. She was bundling clothespins, like, wooden clothespins like this. And she called them solar dryers, which I thought was kind of fun.
That's great. I love that.
Very cute.
There's a way to think of a dish towel and another. Maybe that's something to think about. And
Yeah.
I could try to think of something. Let me try to come up with something. If it's something to sell,
yeah, that would be good.
Kind of think about it.
There's other things that I've long thought about, like the little packets that contain bamboo, spoon, fork, knife, and they come. Care for the Cape and Islands sends them and sells them. So it's just this little sort of thing where you take the flip up and you can also put your reusable straw in there to keep it clean.
I tend to fold mine up in a cotton napkin.
Yeah. Anyway, but things like that are reuse items, but it's really better. Does somebody want to manage, design it? That'd be great. Then, manage it and then sell them at thing. So, but we could of course put them on the website, but then we have to mail things to people and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I could get involved, maybe locally, and as the pandemic kind of wanes, hopefully there might be spaghetti suppers in the future, and also elementary school fundraisers where we used to donate a gift basket.
I still have materials from your last gift basket in the biscuit box.
Oh,
I have to go to another Zoom, guys. Sorry.
okay.
All righty. Nice to see you, Jane.
Okay.
Yeah, well, let's see what Chris comes up with and maybe take it from there.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Right.
Anything else on that? So boomerang bags, we covered, moving to Brewster. On waste reduction, plastic ban petitioned article. Outreach is, I guess, the big thing. Libby's coming back. I don't, you know, we've talked a lot about going around to businesses with, for both the refill, with the refill map and what vendors can, what businesses that want to be on the map so that they can get more foot traffic, etc., for free refills of water bottles. That was from last year. We didn't take any action during the pandemic. And then also now the new article about banning carbonated beverage bottles. So this would be a good time, you know, if we don't want to go around and do things, to at least prepare some things that we can put in email blasts and that we can, you know, put on social media.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just noticed there's an article by Christine Leger, a story on proposed ban on commercial sale of soft drinks to plastic bottles. Oh wait, maybe it's not an art. Maybe she's working on an article. Sorry.
Oh. Okay. I wonder, you mean about Wellfleet?
Yeah, I think she's
Oh.
trying to reach you on this.
Excellent. I'm not really sure. I mean, it's not something that I would have personally advocated, you know, just carbonated beverages. And so I guess we need to figure out what how to support what the select board came up with. I would have rather put it to the voters, but that's not how it works.
Well, it will be before the voters, you know.
The
Obviously.
version that the select board, yeah,
Mhm.
approved. So, you know, any thoughts or ideas about outreach are welcome.
I guess one thing would be to go to the main vendors, the marketplace and Cumberland's and
Right. And I guess we can email, you know, businesses that we think are affected, or
well, many
go
places
through the
are,
chamber.
sorry, so many places are already complying. If you go to certain restaurants and they have a takeout cooler, they're already selling things in aluminum and glass and
Right.
some cartons. I think I noticed that at a place that's open year round here. So I think that might be something just to kind of do an inventory of places that seem to be already
That's a good
walking
point.
the walk.
Yeah.
And that way you can say to someone that is on the fence about it, you know, these places are doing it. And if you
Right.
can get a statement from them, that might be helpful.
Yeah. I did talk to Trudy at Fox and Crow, and she said she has to go to Whole Foods to get carbonated beverages in glass bottles. She can't get them from, you know, she has like 1 liter bottles that she sells. And that the distributors don't seem to have a lot of the beverage kind of things that she's looking for, which, you know, non-plastic alternatives. And actually, I was going to email her. She was going to give me a list of distributors that we can talk to and sort of try to get an idea of what they're selling, how local businesses and restaurants can comply with the ban.
There's Pellegrino and stuff like that. That's a carbonated in glass. That's very widespread.
And
Yeah,
there's certainly a lot in cans available.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
I would be
Pellegrino from out of the country?
Yes.
I think, yeah, way out of the country. I
And
know,
all the Italian bottles.
That's from very far away.
Yeah.
That's not so good, but
At least it's not from Fiji.
Yeah,
Right.
what?
At least it's not from Fiji.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Lydia, if you come up with an email that you're sending out to businesses,
Mhm.
could you send me a copy of that and I can figure out something to do with the Instagram about it
Sure,
and Facebook?
I'll prepare that with Christine. Let's see.
Okay, thanks.
This would be kind of a, is this the going around to businesses and seeing if they're already kind of
Mm.
doing this
Mhm.
for phasing out plastic bottles?
Right. And so
Yeah.
this is going to be on the at the town meeting. It'll be
Yes.
on vote then.
In
Okay.
June, yeah, is it June 8th? Is that right, June 8th?
So I didn't know what the dates were. Are they on on the town website yet? I haven't
Yeah.
looked, but I did
Yeah.
see on Wellfleet Community Space, they posted them. It's June something. And the
Okay.
special election is May something, but hopefully it's on the website. The
No,
town site.
the town election to elect select board members is May 2nd, and then there's town meeting, and then there's a special election after town meeting to vote on the
Okay,
questions from town meeting.
right. Okay. And I've seen some Kathleen Bacon signs around town.
That's right, yeah,
So
she's
she's one of
running.
the write-ins. Has anybody heard anything else about people that are putting
Yeah,
their name?
there's Barbara Carboni, well, there's Mike DeVasto, who's the incumbent. There's
Mhm.
Barbara Carboni, Kathleen Bacon, and Timothy Sayre are the 4 that are running for 3 seats.
Oh, okay.
And one of those seats is a 2-year seat.
But they're Barbara, Timothy, and I guess Kathleen are write-ins.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So can you find out, so do they let the town know so that we can get information about them, or how does that happen?
Well, there's going to be a Wellfleet Community Forum is hosting a candidates event on April 20th.
On April
20th
20th. Great,
on Zoom.
great. All righty. I'm glad people are stepping up. Okay.
Go, I'm sorry. I will see you guys.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Olivia.
Okay, we didn't go back to calendar items, but Earth Day, the Shellfish Advisory Board is doing a beach cleanup on April 23rd, 9 to 2. And Friends of the Library are doing the Duck Harbor in the Gut. And someone will be at Mayo Beach between 9 and 9:30. I guess someone will be in contact with you, Mike, about maybe about putting some.
I'll be dropping the container off, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, great.
And we have
Anyway,
all of these grain bags if anybody wants to use those instead of black trash bags. We have
for sure.
washable grain bags. They're pretty handy. And
Yeah,
so-
I'll talk to Barbara. Renaissance said that she would be there from 9 to 9:30 at Mayo Beach. So I'll talk to her about what we have.
yeah.
Do you have
Let's
any
bring
more?
that-
Do you know if we can get more grain bags?
Yep, I'm sure we can. I can ask
Okay.
about that.
And
Can
did you
you-
get that at Hog Island or?
No, we didn't. We got them from the Devil's Purse one, but Hog Island might have some.
Okay,
I don't know how much brewing they do right there on site, but they might have access to them.
okay, I'll check. I have
And
one
the
for horse feed from my cousin who was visiting and brought me some metal to recycle all the way from Vermont, Mike.
oh my God.
If we make money on it, we'll take it.
Christine, will you bring the grabbers? You know, those,
Yes, I'll
those
bring
are really
those.
handy.
Okay,
I also have to get going. I have to cover lunches. So it was nice
okay.
to see everyone. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
very much.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Mike.
What else? Minutes, correspondence, materials, Cape Vacancies, boomerang, plastic, refill, Cape Cod outreach, the discovery map. So I don't know if it's going to get into the chamber's booklet or not. It was a very late added request. And beach cleanup stations for Wellfleet based on the Truro model. We did talk about not being thrilled with the plastic baskets like the ones you get for groceries to carry around rather than a cart. That was the plan to use for collecting waste at ocean beaches that had this pilot program. So I sent our, what we talked about last month, those suggestions to the COA and DPW, but I haven't heard anything. So I guess just going with what they had decided on. So whether we want to talk, I mean, I suppose we could approach Peyton, who is the Nauset student who started the whole thing, but I don't know if we want to
Sounds
rattle
like-
the cages.
Yeah, they're doing this as a pilot, and one thing they might consider is trying the plastic baskets, seeing how they work.
Mhm.
Or could they add on also the bags in the wooden boxes,
Yeah.
or
Well,
some other?
Definitely, because the carpenter built 3 of these boxes to be used, so it'd be really nice to at least give the option to businesses to use the bags that, the
Mhm.
nylon mesh bags that Truro was using. They cost
Yeah.
$15 each.
I think
use
though
the
Jessie
boxes.
said that she would find other homes for the boxes that Wellfleet
Mhm.
didn't wanna use.
Yeah,
But
okay. And bottle bill expansion, universal redemption, anything on that?
no, it was, I think it's still in committee at the State House, and I think when things start to heat up again on that, we'll hear it. You
Okay.
know, we're getting notices, and
Um,
maybe talking to Julian Sear and Sarah Peak about it would be a good thing.
mhm. Anything on reducing aquaculture plastics?
No, nothing on that.
Okay.
Tom is away right now, but
Alrighty.
he'll be back.
And we already talked about the SAB beach cleanup, reusable containers, Meals on Wheels, local kitchens. Anything for
Yeah,
that,
I
Lydia?
did get the name of someone at the Elder Services, and I also learned that a lot of the meals are prepared off-site and then assembled locally.
Mm,
So it'd be interesting to find out where they're preparing them, off-site, and if at that point what are they using? Also, are they using all plastic and styrofoam, or
mm.
maybe just I'll find
Well,
out.
for a long time, they were using black plastic,
Mhm,
and they may still be, I don't know.
right.
Okay, so we had talked about using our email blast credit for some spring.
Yeah, I did.
recycling.
Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No,
did-
not at all. We talked about doing the textile, but I mean, we could put in links to different things too, about the voter's guide and shrink wrap
Yeah.
and textile.
Maybe that would be a good thing to do, a kind of omnibus, or whatever the word is. I did get the textile recycling one into the newsletter. So I just remembered on the 30th
Into
of
the newsletter,
March,
which
into the
newsletter?
chamber newsletter. Yeah, I made
Oh,
it into
great.
that, but at the, towards the end, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
So I think if you do get the material to them a couple days before the first of the month, or a few days before the first of the month, more likely to get it. And however, we do still have that email blast credit, like you said. Maybe it would be good to use that in the summer when there's a ton of people around, or I'm not sure.
Okay.
What about using it for the carbonated bottle ban
Mhm.
Do
before
that.
before the vote?
Yeah,
That might be a good time.
that would be a good idea.
Hmm.
Lydia, do you know if this forum that's coming up, is that just on candidates or is that on?
It is, yep, it's on candidates, and it's there'll be a pre-town meeting also. Oh, by the way, I want to say that town meeting is June 11th. June
Thank you for
11th.
that. Okay,
Yeah, they do host this annually, a candidates event, and also a pre-town meeting with the
Okay.
the moderator will be.
right. So for the pre-town meeting, when we have something on the article, we usually do a PowerPoint presentation, someone does it. So if anybody is interested in doing that, I can send things that we've done in the past.
We might ask Olivia since she's been doing quite a bit with the, the website and
Mhm.
text.
Yeah, if you're interested, Chris, or anybody else, and
Yeah, I wasn't sure of Chris. Yeah.
and so that would be later, probably that would be May then, I guess, the forum for articles.
Lydia,
Um,
excuse me, Lydia, what time is town meeting on the 11th? Do you know?
Ooh, hold on a sec. I think I have it on my June 11th. Sorry, I don't have that.
Okay, I can look it up.
information.
Okay.
Doesn't say on the town website yet.
Yeah, it's,
Used to always be 7 o'clock, but I don't know if they're gonna do it late like
well, they're
that.
doing it outside, so
Are they? I thought they were doing
I
it.
thought that's why they moved it to June 11th to do it outside.
Mm. Okay, to be continued on that.
Okay. And the warrant apparently is not available yet. Okay, anything else we have here? So yeah, so the thought is maybe we should wait on that. It's a good point, Chris, and be able to put some information in there about the warrant article. And then we had website and social media posts, and I'd made notes, voters guide. Oh, I'm working on website corrections also for our town website. And I think it'd be a good idea to try to get maybe just a smaller group of people to figure out how to coordinate the website and the town website, and how to, add to the menu on the town site links to the various information that we have on our website. And then ask for them to make those changes. But right now I'm just focusing on corrections.
I Googled the town meeting thing and it looked like somewhere said it was 10 a.m. But
Okay.
I think, yeah. I think it was something like that when they had it outside last time. I seem to remember it was a morning.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So are we going to, I think water stations for town meeting was on the annual calendar thing. Like, do we want to
It was, yes.
do
I
something
did-
similar to what we did last year?
Yeah, I didn't put it up for discussion just because it won't be till June, but we
Mhm.
can
Yeah,
certainly
we
start.
can bring it
talking
up in
about
May.
it now.
Okay.
Maybe talk to the marketplace about whether they want to do what they did last time.
Yeah.
Is that something you might be willing to do, Lydia?
Sure.
Okay. That would be great. Okay, anything that, Chris, that you wanted to add on social media posts?
Hang on one second. So I've been trying to do about one post a week. And I just wanted to check something. And right now we have 487 followers. I'm kind of excited that we're almost up
I
to
know.
500.
That's great.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just been going well. I've been enjoying doing this.
Good. Did a wonderful job. We really appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah. Were there any things at the beginning of the meeting that I missed that?
There were a few. There's Amnesty Day, is
Yep, I've
April
already done that.
23rd. Then there's Hazardous Waste Days.
Right, I have a note to do that one. Yeah.
Wellfleet is June 4th. There's the Shellfish Advisory Board and Friends of the Herring River, and maybe Wellfleet Recycling Committee beach cleanup. But it's essentially the Shellfish Advisory Board that usually does
I
it.
guess. I think Friends of the Herring River is really taking the lead.
Right. Okay.
And
Well, that's a
they're
beach cleanup. Yeah, April 23rd from 9 to 2, meeting at Mayo
it's the
Beach.
annual Earth Day
Right.
weekend beach cleanup.
Right.
So that's April 22?
Nope,
23rd.
23rd.
April 23rd.
23, yeah.
So it's sorry, it's the Shellfish Advisory Board. It's Herring
We can-
River. Friends
Yeah,
of the
we can
Herring
email you
And Friends of the Herring
who's
River.
co-sponsoring it. It's quite a big group.
Okay, yeah, if you could, that would be great, so I can get them all in.
And
Okay.
Provincetown is doing one too. Center for Coastal Studies has 2 locations in Provincetown for their annual Earth Day weekend cleanup.
Okay. I actually am seeing Laura Ludwig in a couple of days, so I can get that from her.
Right, yeah, she sent an email out. Olivia, do you have, could you send those emails, the beach cleanup ones to Chris? Robinson?
I don't,
Or do you have them?
yeah, yep, I can do that. I'll send them a list. I think it's a growing list because I didn't know Friends of the Library was in too.
No, I didn't mean Friends of the Library. I meant Friends of
Oh.
Herring River. If I said library, I meant Herring River.
Okay.
There's many friends around.
Yes.
And was there anything else that we talked about for Instagram? Not that I can think of offhand.
Right.
So I think, anybody have anything else? Oops, I have to turn the page on my, on my, what else? Compost in the news. That was the last item.
Yeah. Well, let's see what's in the news. Basically what Carrie mentioned, this, I guess starting November 1st, food waste is restaurants and other kitchens producing food waste. The ban anything over half a ton, and half a ton is basically 4 carts worth. That gives you an idea of.
Oh, it's 4 carts. Okay. And that's per week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's great that Mike got in touch with some of the local compost operations, just, just ask questions and start talking about the possibilities here.
I didn't hear that part. I thought that was about getting some compost for people to pick up at the.
Yeah, but that's
Oh, okay.
something that's a promotional thing that can
Right. Oh, right.
build
Right.
interest in
That's what you're
composting.
saying.
And
Right.
so anytime that he's talking about it, it's good, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, so Chris, he's looking at trying to get some compost that people can come and pick up. He talked to Watts Family Farm, but they aren't delivering, aren't doing, did he say they're not doing commercial compost anymore? I can't remember, but anyway.
No, he
That's
said he
just
hadn't
good.
heard back from them on that. I thought. That he
I
hadn't
thought he
heard
said,
back.
Yeah, he
I
said
thought he
Watts.
said they weren't selling it to anybody.
Yeah, they
Right.
don't bag it, but,
That's
and he
what I
asked
heard
about
too.
bulk
That's
compost
what I
drop
Right.
off.
heard.
Yeah, so he was gonna see if we could get like bulk delivery of compost maybe from Watts Family Farm, just so people are educated about you drop off your food waste, this is what you get.
That's great. Yeah.
And it's different from the brush pile compost or the leaf pile compost that we already have.
A little bit richer.
Mhm,
A
right.
little bit. So our next meeting is on May 3rd.
I picked up the mail. We got an
Good.
advertisement and I thought, well, shouldn't the company know better than sending
They
it to
should.
the recycling committee?
They should, and you know what, there's a catalog choice, do you know about that website? You can go, every time I get a catalog, I go on there and add
Yeah.
it to my list. It
Okay,
probably takes months, but eventually they'll take you off.
okay, but this came, a furniture catalog for the recycling committee. And just the ledger history, Christine, I don't know if you
okay.
keep that, and a receipt from the deposit.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, great.
So I'll hold on to those,
Okay,
but not the catalog.
right.
Recycle it.
Alrighty, well, it's very nice. Yes,
Did
John.
I hear about, could I please, just a moment, what is that called, catalog?
Catalog choice.
Okay, because
Catalog
I
choice.
I call companies directly, but catalog choice. So
Yeah.
I'll look for it, okay.
So you just go to catalogchoice.com, I think, and you can put your mailing address in, and then they have lists of all these
Oh,
catalogs.
great, thank
I
you.
think last time, I didn't find a couple of them in there, so I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, trying to call companies to get taken off their, and nonprofits to get yourself off the mailing list, I've not found successful.
Well, I have, but it takes a while, but to
Right.
do both would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, it's such a waste. Oh my God. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Alrighty, anybody have anything else? Thank you very much. Sorry we went so
Thank you.
long today, but
Thank you.
appreciate your attendance. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.